In this video, I'm going to show you quickly how to do high frequency separation for portrait retouching. And then we're going to do a very straightforward black and white conversion for the best possible look so that we can make this image look like this one. You can download this image for free in the link in the description and follow along if you like. So the fun starts after the intro. Are you ready? It's Photoshop time, and you know the drill. Smack it, whack it, and crack-a-lack it.
Yes! That's awesome! What?
Starting with this image, high frequency separation basically just means we're going to separate the color and tone from the texture of the image. You do that by going to your original background layer, hitting Command or Control J twice, 1, 2. It's going to give you two copies. The very top copy, label texture. Double click on the second copy, label it blur. I'm going to turn off the visibility of the texture layer. And while the blur layer is selected, I want you to go up to filter, down to blur, over to Gaussian blur. And this is a big file, it's like 31 megs. So this radius is going to vary depending on the resolution of your image. So here's what you're looking for. See, we can see the skin texture pretty clearly, right? It's pretty exaggerated texture, really close-up shot. Now, all the way over here, crazy blurry. Can't make out even the facial features. Where you're dragging it, see, I would say even this is too blurry, because what you're looking for is you still want to see the skin texture. You want to see it where it starts to disappear. See, I'm still seeing the skin texture pretty straightforward. So I'm going to keep pulling up until it almost disappears, which is about right there. I'll click OK, and then I'll turn on the texture layer. I'll select it, go up to image, and then I want you to choose apply image. So depending on the last time you use this or the default settings, your image may look like this or maybe totally black. Here's what you're going to do. It automatically chooses this source file, this image that we actually opened, the original background image. It's choosing that as the source. And then we want to subtract the texture layer from the blur layer. So what you'll do is under layer, where it says merged, go down and choose blur. Then you're going to go to the blending mode. We want to subtract. So go down to the subtract blending mode. Okay, so now you have this kind of a black based image. What I want you to do is change the scale to 2, and it needs to be set mid-range. So remember, 0 is pure black, 255 is pure white, so 128 is perfect mid-gray, and that's what we want. So again, select the blur layer, blending mode of subtract, scale to 2, offset to 128. Click OK. Now you're going to go into your layer blend mode and go down to linear light. So watch this. I'm going to turn both of these off just by clicking and dragging up. And as soon as I let go of my mouse, watch what happens. You see how nothing happened? I'll turn them back on. That basically proves that we have separated the color and tone from the texture so that they're now on two separate layers and they're identical to the base image. Right? So here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to leave the texture layer on, but we're going to select the blur layer. We're going to grab the lasso tool and choose the top lasso tool. Now, here's the thing. When you first make your selection, take a look at your feather. Most likely, your feather is probably at a 0 pixels. Let me undo that real quick. Command or Control D. So while my feather is at 0 pixels, which is likely where you're starting out, typically, I like to select things that are similar in tone. So I'm going to select this highlight area on the cheek. I'm going to hit Q for quick mask. Okay, that's a really hard edge, and that's going to show. So we can't have that. So I'll hit Q to undo quick mask, Command D to deselect, and I'm going to drag the feather up 20 to 30, well, I should say 20 to 40 pixels, just depending on the size of your image. So for this one, I'm going to go 25 pixels. I'm going to select that same highlight area in the cheek. I'll hit Q for quick mask. You see how visually that's a much softer feather from where the effect's being applied to where it's not? Q for quick mask to hide that. Now you're going to go back up to blur. And you find that by filter, and don't choose the top one because that remembers the last filter you did. And we probably want to custom adjust each adjustment here. So that means you would go all the way back down to blur, all the way over to Gaussian blur, get up the dialog box, and just look at the tone. We're just trying to minimize that highlight. We don't want to totally neutralize it because then we're going to lose the dimensionality of the sculpted 3D space. So we just don't want it to be a glary highlight. I'm going to click OK. Command D to deselect. Now I'm going to select this highlight right here on the nose. Go back up to filter, down to blur, over to Gaussian blur. That might be too heavy-handed. So just drag it until you still have, again, that highlight area, but it's not so glary. And you don't have to hit Command D to deselect every time. If you just start your new selection, the other one will automatically disappear. So I'm going to re-get some of that part of the nose. Go back up to filter. Now this time I am going to select the top one for speed, and because I know that the adjustment are probably very similar for this area. And I can apply it again if I need double the strength. See how that works? Now watch this little hot spot right in there. I'll do the same thing. Filter, Gaussian blur. Okay, that minimized it. Maybe I don't like this area right here. Filter, Gaussian blur. That kind of equalized it. Filter, Gaussian blur. And then probably lastly, I would get up here. I'm applying it multiple times. It's not working, so I actually need to go all the way back down, toggle open the dialog box so I can manually drag in the amount of blur I want for this particular image to be faster. Command or Control D, Command 0, fit back in screen. Okay, so now we've minimized the highlights, the color and tone, even things out. But we still need to minimize this texture. Let me go up at 100%. You can do that by hitting Command or Control 1. That will zoom in to 100%. This person's wearing fake contacts because this is the way fake contacts look. So that's how you can always tell. Anyway, go back up to texture. I'm going to duplicate that, right? So now it's like a double the texture, and we definitely don't want double the texture. And I want to put a layer mask on it. Remember, white reveals, black conceals. So if I hold down the Alt or Option key while adding a layer mask right down here at the bottom of the layers panel, it's going to add a black mask instead of the traditional white mask, which is perfect because that means it hides everything on this layer. I'm going to turn that off, go back down to the original texture layer, and I'm just going to lower the opacity somewhere between 75 and 85%. This is a pretty high-res image taken super close up, so there's a ton of skin texture detail. Looks like I need to take this one all the way down to almost 50% to really soften it. So that's what it looks like zoomed out a bit. Essentially, we're not blurring it because we still have the texture. You can still see the texture even zoomed out to 33%. And see, there's plenty of texture in this image. So you can soften it as much as you want to taste. So I went ahead and drug that down to 40%. But I don't want to lose all the texture here and the eyebrows and the lips and the nostril. I want it still to look like a sharp photograph. So you go back up to the texture copy that we created, tap on that mask, and remember we lowered this opacity by 60%. So that means we're going to type B for the brush. We're going to look up here and we're going to hover over the word opacity, and we're going to drag our opacity down to 60% because essentially we're just going to paint back all the original texture where we want it pretty sharp. Take a look at your foreground background colors. We need white in the foreground because we're painting on a black mask over here. Just hit the X key. It will flip-flop those two. If you didn't have white and black in there, you can either hit this little icon here or hit D for default colors. Right bracket key to make my brush a little bigger, and I'm just going to paint with that 60%, and I'm going to bring back the original sharpness. Typically, you want to bring it back in the eyes, eyelashes, all hair, all facial hair, anything like jewelry or these sparkly nails so they don't look blurry. Typically lips for a fashion shot anyway. And I like to even bring back the nose holes just so it doesn't look blurry. We can soften this effect if we want to, right? We can lower the density of the mask just to lower the contrast of this so it brings back a little bit more texture if we wanted a little bit more texture. But this is essentially what you do. This is the high frequency separation. So let me show you what we did. I'm going to merge all of these controls to the very top layer by hitting Command Option Shift letter E. Do you see that? And then I'm going to select everything we did, hit Command or Control G to hide it in a folder, turn the eyeball off. So I'm going to turn off our high frequency separation. So that's where we were. See how glary the highlights look and how the texture looks a little bit too crunchy. But here we've really softened it. Let's look at it at 100%. So here's where we were. Space bar so I can just move stuff around. And here's where we are now. Now let's convert this to a black and white. I'm going to add a black and white adjustment layer up here. And I think I want to have, and actually if I'm not sure what I want to do, here's a quick tip. Poke in your channels and toggle the red channel that has that infrared glowy white skin look. The green is more like what our eyes would naturally convert to black and white. And the blue tends to be darker for flesh tones. I really like the makeup and the lip color in that. I like a little bit of this look too. So I may wind up doing a blend of the two. So I'll add a black and white adjustment layer now that I kind of know where I want to go. And the reason I chose a black and white adjustment layer is it gives me access to the luminance values of the individual colors. So I know the skin is made up of reds and yellows, so I can pull up the red slider and the yellow slider and make that skin just a little glowier. Now I don't want to lose that really nice dark makeup here. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to grab this layer that we retouched with the high frequency separation. I'm going to hold the Alt or Option key, drag it above, see the cyan line. I'm going to drop it. I'm going to add another black and white adjustment layer, and I'm going to drag the red the opposite way. So I really want to make that makeup and the lip color more dramatic for the black and white conversion. I'm going to merge all of this to its own layer by hitting Command Option Shift letter E. And then I'm going to go back to these two, and you have options. You can either Command or Control select them, Command G to group them, turn them off so they're hidden. So essentially, I like the skin tones in this, but I want some of the rich makeup from this image. So what I'll do is I'll add a layer mask. And if I forget to hold down the Alt or Option key and I accidentally add a white mask, you can go up to Image, Adjustments, and down to Invert, or just remember to hit Command or Control I. And once I click this, look over at the Layers panel. See how the white mask turns black? Because black conceals. It conceals or it hides everything on this layer. If I want to see through this layer, I need to cut a hole in this mask. That means I need to paint with a brush with white. Look at your foreground color at the percentage that I want. And I'm going to zoom in just a bit by hitting Command or Control plus, space bar to get the hand to move down a little bit. So right bracket key for a slightly bigger brush. And I'm painting at 60%. So I'm bringing back 60% of that makeup color. I think I'm going to tap 0 for 100%. And let's just go crazy. We can just fade the opacity if we need to. The bigger the brush, the softer the effect will look. I needed some down here. Since the lips are the same color as the skin, sometimes making a brighter red channel adjustment makes the lips too bright. Again, you get to decide what kind of contrast you want. Command 0 to fit in screen. Okay, so if that's a little intense, first we'll feather what we did, right? Just to blur the edges of that. And we can lower the density of what we did to bring back a little bit of the darkness of this image. And then we can lower the opacity of the layer itself just to minimize that effect that we just created. Command Option Shift letter E to push everything to the top. I'll hide everything again just for simplicity. Here is the retouch version. Command Shift U just to desaturate. So this is a straightforward generic desaturation. Command Shift U just equalizes all the color channels. Do you see the difference in the red, the green, and the blue? Right, because you want. They are all identical now. It's the quick way to convert something to black and white, but typically not the best way. And here's where we ended up. And again, here is where we started. I hope this helps. Can't wait to see what you make.
Yes!
Hey, what are you still doing here? It's over. Actually, all kidding aside, I hope this video helped. And if it did, consider subscribing. I like subscribers.
That's awesome! What? You just took one in the jugular, man! Whoa! Yes! Oh my god, I did! This is
Hey, you stayed to the end. You know what that means? You're awesome. I'm talking about you. Now get out of here.